ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the C.D. Racula Show. Today's show will be taking a look at the 1987 horror anthology movie, Creepshow 2. Before we start creeping around this episode, if you guys could be my little heroes and hit that subscribe button for me, I would literally worship the ancient evil burial ground you walk on. So back to the show here, back to Creepshow 2. I've been wanting to do a Creepshow episode for some time indeed. I need to do the original 1982 Creepshow at some point. I get it. I need to do the original. But I recently rewatched Creepshow 2, so I decided to do this episode while it was fresh on my rotted little brain. So yes, I have a lot of love for the original as well, obviously. I love the way this film was done, with 3 live-action stories with animated interludes featuring the Creep, as he follows the adventures of young Billy Boy. This movie has some pretty hard-hitting names from the horror genre. The screenplay was written by the famous George Romero, and the original stories were written by none other than Stephen King. Stephen King even makes an appearance as a truck driver in the final story of the anthology. Tom Savini played the Creep. The Creep starts the movie off as a live-action postman before it transitions into animation, by the way. Savini is a Horror Hall of Fame makeup artist, if you didn't know, and I thought the live-action version of The Creep was pretty over-the-top and cool in that Tom Savini kind of way. The 3 stories were pretty awesome, and I liked some better than others. The first story is called Old Chief Woodenhead. An old man and his wife have a little convenience store of some kind in a small town with a wooden Native American warrior statue outside the front of the store. Some punks decide to break into the store in order to rob it. Well, they end up killing the poor old man and lady who own the store, awakening the magic of the old wooden warrior out front, who ends up killing each of the punks most savagely in revenge. The coolest part of this story is the head of the punks, who's always talking about his hair and how awesome he is and how handsome, and how his hair is going to get him paid and laid in Hollywood. Then at the end you see the wooden statue holding the scalp of the young punk. Such irony. His hair did not in fact get him paid and laid, but it did get him murdered and scalped by a magic wooden statue, so he has that going for him. The second story is called The Raft. I think this is my favorite of the 3 stories. Basically, 2 college-age males and 2 college-age females go for a little swim, a little dip, on a remote pond that has a single raft in the middle. What they don't know is that there's some kind of mossy, blobby thing that is floating around in the water, that if it catches you, then it basically eats you alive by dissolving your skin and your bones and flesh. It was the coolest story because to me, it was just so original, and the images of the skeleton and the dissolved flesh just looked terrifying. Whatever mossy monster that eats flesh in the lake definitely was not something to mess with. I thought the ending of this story was absolutely amazing. When the kid swam ashore and he had assumed he had beaten the mossy blob, then it rose out of the water and covered him like a blanket and drug him back into the murky abyss. Totally awesome. I thought this story was the scariest by far. The third story was probably my least favorite. favorite. It was dubbed The Hitchhiker. The basic plot is a rich lady cheats on her husband with some kind of male prostitute, then accidentally hits a hitchhiker, killing him. Well, she drives off, a little hit and run, then the hitchhiker haunts her all the way home, till eventually she dies in her own garage. I just feel like a ghost hitchhiker has been done many, many times before. That ghost hitchhiker could take a beating, that's for sure. He got ran over and shot quite a few times, but he just kept coming. He kept on coming. This story was just a little weak to me. The end of the film saw the animated Billy Boy leading the bullies who tormented him throughout the movie to a clearing where they are eaten by some Venus flytraps who eat meat. Overall, I'm going to give this movie some pretty decent marks on the old scarometer. I just love getting a bunch of different stories like this, and with Stephen King, George Romero, and Tom Savini involved, how can it not be awesome? Most definitely worth the watch. There was a third Creepshow film, came out quite a bit later, in 2006. Of course, it was called Creepshow 3. Lots of love for the Creepshow franchise, that's for sure. I would like to thank you guys for joining me here on this episode of the CD Racula Show. And if you could just creep on over like TLC to that subscribe button, I'd be forever in your debt. Please join me next episode of the show when I take a look at the film The Stuff. Oh, The Stuff was one weird film. So, till next time, all my little blood bags out there in YouTube land, I'll see you in your dreams. Ta-ta, my dears. Ta-ta.